Hello Abdullah, I welcome you.
Hello my friend. Thanks for having me. I want to make it clear that Isaiah 60:7 is a clear prophecy of Muhammad and Islam. The verse says, "All Kedar's flocks will be gathered to you, the rams of Nebaioth will serve you, they will be accepted as offerings on my altar, and I will adorn my glorious temple." This speaks of Kedar, which is historically associated with Makkah, the birthplace of Muhammad. The flocks being gathered refers to the Hajj pilgrimage, where Muslims gather in Makkah, and the sacrifices during Eid al-Adha are accepted by God. This prophecy, along with verses 1 to 6, speaks of a holy man bringing light to the world during a time of darkness, clearly pointing to Muhammad.
Thank you for your submission. While your interpretation is interesting, it overlooks key elements in the text and the broader context of Isaiah 60. Let's start with Isaiah 60:7. The verse indeed mentions Kedar's flocks being gathered and offered on an altar. However, Islam does not have an altar system like the one described here, which is a fundamental part of the Jewish temple practice. The Bible's references to altars are connected to the sacrificial system established by God through Moses, which is central to Judaism. The Kaaba in Mecca does not have an altar where sacrifices are offered, making it inconsistent with this prophecy.
But the verse speaks of Kedar and the flocks being accepted on God's altar, which could be symbolic of the Hajj practices. It's about people from all over coming together in a holy place.
However, the text specifically mentions sacrifices on an altar, which Islam lacks. The sacrificial system mentioned here is deeply rooted in Jewish tradition and directly linked to the temple in Jerusalem, not the Kaaba. Moreover, Isaiah 60:4-6 speaks of sons and daughters gathering and wealth being brought to Israel, not Mecca. Verses 9 to 10 further clarify that the prophecy is about the nations coming to honor Israel and its people, with foreigners helping to rebuild Jerusalem. This clearly points to the Jewish people and their land, not to Islam or Muhammad. The context of Isaiah 60 is about the restoration of Israel and the worship in Jerusalem, not a prophecy about another religion.
But the mention of Kedar can't be ignored. Kedar is tied to Ishmael's descendants, which includes the Arabs.
Kedar's flocks are indeed mentioned, but they are described as offerings, not as the people themselves. This fits the Jewish practice of sacrifice, where animals are offered to God, unlike the practices in Islam. The context throughout Isaiah 60 points to the glorification of Israel and Jerusalem, not Mecca. The reference to Kedar highlights the global significance of Israel's restoration, showing that even distant peoples would honor God in Jerusalem.